Hello and welcome, friends. Welcome to my channel. My name is Nokulunga, your host, as you know. And today it's all about money tips for students. Now, you know there is nothing as painful as being a broke student. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I've been through this. All right, let's kick into it. So the first thing that I'll be talking to you guys about today is learning to earn. So I'll be looking at how do you start earning money as a student. Now, there are two career paths, but before I get to that, let me start with telling you my story. So I've worked since the age of 16. I was in grade 10 at the time. Started working off at a China shop selling clothes. I was one of those girls that are like, ngina, 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 ngina. Fast forward, I got a job at a herbalist place, and I was now saying, "Siyahlola siyalapangala," you know, bringing people in to meet the herbalist. But those were all like maybe for like a week, 2 weeks or so. A job that I actually stayed in for like 3 years, and that's now during the summer breaks, was at a supermarket. I worked as a packer. Aspired to be a cashier, but I never made it to a cashier. But I also worked, part of being a packer, I was also pushing trolleys for clients who wanted, you know, to take their groceries to the car park. Summer dresses la. Summer dresses, nice coats, it is summer, girl. Check it out, Kapagati. I know, it's gorgeous, right? Totally, just go ahead and try it out. Cool, 50 rand per lengo balena. Only 100 rand per lengo balena. Summer sale ngapagati, guys. Siyahlela pangala. 50 rand uklola. Siyahlela pangala. 50 randi. Win the lottery. Genangala. Win the lottery, mama. Siyahlela pangala. Gena nangutogatela ngapa. Plastic, ma. Okay. All right. I think they're going to be too full. Can I give you a box instead? Okay. All right. Let me get you a box. Kesha, 2 plastics. Yeah, and a box. Ma, can I push your stuff to the car park, please? All right. Cash and Gabuya Bume, Gabuya man. I'm just gonna push the stuff to the car park, okay? All right. So, guys, that's my story. So, how do you hone in your skills? How do you hone in your skills to earn as a student? Now, there are 2 ways. There's the business route, and then there's the employee route. Now let's talk about the business route. The business route is you looking at, you know, skills that you are good at. For instance, what are you good at? Are you good at, you know, are you good with animals? Can you start a pet sitting company? Can you walk people's dogs and get paid for that? Are you good with computers? Can you show other people how to use computers or different softwares? Maybe create logos for them and therefore make your own extra cash? Can you bake? And then maybe you bake and sell to other students. That's an option. Another thing that I started implementing, although I had to stop because of COVID, is giving massages. I started giving students foot massages for $50 only. And if you wanted maybe a head and neck or back massage, we could customize a package for you that way. So that was another way that I earned some extra cash as a student. Now, there's also the other thing of being an employee. So I know Cape Union Mart, for instance, is always hiring students. I know theme parks, like for instance in Cape Town we had the Rotanga Junction. I know they hired students. There's also a company that I worked for quite a few years in varsity, which was Happy Snappy, where we took photos of tourists at different tourist attraction sites, and they paid really well. I mean, as a student, getting paid 5K per month, guys, and that's just money, Jay, and you can make extra. Honey, that is exactly the type of paper I'm talking about. So there are many types of ways that a student can make some money. Now, before you even get to choosing which career path you want to work in, I just want to make it known that in South Africa, the legal working age is the age of 15. That is in a normal, safe environment. If it is an environment which is potentially hazardous, then you have to be 18 years. For instance, working in a lab, working in a chemical plant, and so forth. And then there are certain exceptions with the age of 16 if the environment is highly regulated and controlled. Ooh, the sun is coming up. All right. So before you get to those, that decision, as I said, whether you want to go the entrepreneur route or you want to go the employee route, you need to think about topics that interest you. For instance, I worked at a photo company. I love taking pictures. I love cameras. That's me, right? So that was my interest. I need you to list 3 sets of interests. 1, what interests you. 2, what interests you. 3, what interests you. Once you have these ideas, it will give you an indication of, okay, maybe these are the fields that I should look at. These are the sectors I should look at. 2, I want you to think about yourself. Bring it back home and say, what am I good at? Am I good with my hands? So maybe I can find a job at a bakery part-time. Maybe I could work at KFC. What am I good at? Do I like frying patties? Or, you know what you're good at, in terms of your hands. And then ask yourself, what am I passionate about? Now, guys, there are cases where you're passionate about something, but I'm not so good at it. For instance, I'm very passionate about animals and that kind of stuff, but I don't see myself ever working at a dog daycare, for instance. I love dogs, but I don't want to do that type of work. Another thing that you need to look at is, what are your hobbies? What do you enjoy doing? What do you do for fun? How do you spend your spare time, as they say it, For instance, if you spend your spare time hiking, could you get a job, part-time job, hiking somewhere, or maybe, I don't know, doing something along those lines? Maybe people who hike struggle, for instance, to carry their load, and you could offer that service and say, okay, I'll carry your stuff for a fee if you'll pay me. So you could also do that. Another thing that you can do is you can then say to yourself, okay, I'm good at, maybe I'm very strong and muscular, so I'll do XYZ. All right, so guys, as I mentioned, so there's 4 things that you need to consider. It's 1, what topic interests you. 2, what are you good at. 3, what are you passionate about? What do you wake up, sleep thinking about? All right. And then eventually, what are your hobbies? What do you do for fun? And try and make your coin or paper from that. And it's so important. Now, there are certain things that you need to do. First of all, you need to make some time and sit aside with yourself and figure out what really interests you, and that will help you to make money. Remember, it's important to make regular time for yourself, to sit down and just ask yourself, what do you like, what do you enjoy? And that way you'll be able to figure out what next step to take. Sometimes hanging around friends all the time really takes away from your time to be with yourself, and also manage the tasks that you need to manage for yourself as a person, first and foremost. And we already know that part of getting a job and figuring out a career is really a personal decision that you have to make. For instance, I love making these videos, and I make them because I'm passionate about it, and also, I'm good at it. I'm good at public speaking, and so that is why I do these videos, amongst other things. Now, before we continue, I want to take you through a true and false, all right? Now, if you've listened through this video and you've listened to me, you should definitely be able to get these answers correct. All right. Now, the first question, true or false, and I'll give you a minute to answer. All right. 1, only adults can be entrepreneurs. Drum roll. True or false? Well, I hope you got it right, because the answer is false. Anyone can be an entrepreneur. Adult, youth, the works. If you've got an idea and there's a gap in the market and someone that's willing to pay for whatever service or product that you're offering, honey, you are an entrepreneur. However, on the working side though, as an employee, there is a legal age of 15, as I mentioned earlier on, and 18 for more hazardous environments. Okay, question number 2. Planning your career starts with an assessment of personal interests. I'll give you a minute. Yes, it does, right? I hope you got that as true, because it does. Remember earlier on, I asked you to list your interests. I asked you to list your hobbies. I asked you to list your, what you are good at and so forth. And so those things are really part of that self-assessment, your personal interests as well as your skills. So that's very important, whether you're starting a business or applying for a job. You must see yourself, envision yourself in that career. Now 3, an entrepreneur is someone who has started his or her own business. I'll give you a minute for that. So the answer to that is true, and that is because an entrepreneur is somebody who starts a business, builds and grows a business. Now, if you just have an idea and you have not put it into practice, we can't call you an entrepreneur. But if you've, taken the idea, you've put steps, whether you signing up or you create a website, you bidding for business and you're bidding for work, then in that case, you are an entrepreneur. All right. So remember, the answer to that is true. The 4th question is, education is not important in building your skill set. Now, true or false? Now, for me personally, guys, I'll tell you the truth. Education is important in whatever area that you choose in. If you're going into an engineering field and you're going to be servicing them, offering them a service or a product, you need to educate yourself. Now, education doesn't necessarily mean school only. It also could be reading and researching on the internet and so forth. So I will say that is false. You definitely need some form of education or training or research or learning, watching YouTube videos in order to learn the skill set that you need for any field and for you to constantly improve in that field. So maybe you're already good with computers, but there's a new software, there's a new, type of website design that you don't know, that you need to upskill yourself in order for you to be able to service that type of market. So that's where we leave it for today. One more question, and then you guys can click the subscribe and the like and share button after this. All right, so finding a mentor is a way to get is a good business idea to grow your business. Is that true or false? I'll give you a few minutes. True. Guys, I cannot emphasize enough the importance of getting people and growing your network with people who are already in the field that are doing what you want to do or what you just started pursuing, and learning from them. And remember, mentors don't have to be face-to-face, especially not in the Rona times, but it can be digital mentors. It could be people you follow on YouTube, people you follow on social media that can teach you the skills that you need. Try and figure out what is their blueprint, how have they been successful. Ask them questions like, hey dude, what's your secret? And they'll be able to guide you accordingly, with limitations of course. In some cases, you do have to pay for a mentor, and ask yourself if that's perhaps something you can afford to do it. But even before you pay for a mentor, honey, there are plenty of free resources on the internet that I would capitalize on, and I hope you do the same. Thank you so much for attending today's video. Remember, it's all about how to earn, and these are student tips. In the next video, we're going to be talking about how to save, because remember, you earn and you save and. All right, so stay tuned and I'll see you in the next video. Remember to like and subscribe and share these tips if you find them helpful. The purpose of this channel is for us to have conversations that help us as young people. If we get support and we help each other, then definitely we'll grow and become better individuals. All right, my name's Nokulunga, your host. As you know, follow me on IG, follow me on Twitter, and ciao.